Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of To Be Quite Honest, the podcast. My name is Ore, and with me, as always, I have my ever-present host, Ben,
Hello, people. How you guys doing?
a.k.a. Big Ben.
Exactly. Super
And
excited to be here again today.
always excited to be
Always
here. I love
excited,
Ben. His
actually.
energy is always just like 100. With us today, we have this very special guest. I know I say this every week, but all our guests are special.
Extra
and today's guest
special.
is extra special.
Yes.
That was just shining. She's
Yes.
so happy. She's so happy.
She's very beautiful
She's
too.
so happy to be here.
Yay!
And we're happy to have you. We have
Thank
with
you
us
so
today,
much.
Felicia. I want to introduce her, but I feel like she'll do herself like more justice to introduce herself.
Okay, great. So, hello everyone. My name is Folusho Gbadamosi, and I run an organization called Junior Achievement Nigeria. Amongst other things, I'm also an author. I facilitate courses as a Gallup certified strengths coach, and a bunch of other amazing things as well. That's
So,
me.
Amazing.
Look at that. She's multi-talented.
Yes.
And I think, like, when we're thinking of a guest for the episode today, we thought, like, who better than... No,
You have raps.
No,
You
no.
have
If
raps.
you know what? If it's a lie, tell them. It's not what. Because you said it and we're saying it, so clearly it's true. We're thinking about, like, who to bring on. And I thought, like, who better than you? Because, of course, you're an author, you're a certified coach. You also have a 9 to 5 with JA.
Yes.
And I just felt like, so you definitely have a very wide, like a very varied network. Because I feel like it's not the same people who you meet at JA, same people are going to buy the books, same people are going to engage for coaching. So, of course, there might be a bit of cross-selling. But at the same time, it's a very varied network. So I
Yeah.
feel like if anyone is probably suited to speak on this, it will be you.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
So jumping right into it, our
Yes.
very first question to you would be, as an introduction, basically, we would like to know how important, first of all, is it to actually build networks? You know, how crucial is that to, our personal and professional success, basically? And I would
Yeah.
really like to hear, actual life stories.
Life stories,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that'll make it.
You know, honestly, I think that your networks are like extremely important. I'm trying to put it on a scale, and I can't even.
Do 1 to 10.
I can't.
I want to 10 is 20.
As in, since it's 20, because the reality is that, for everything that has to do with like success, whether it's personal, it's business, career, in any area of your life, you need people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, you can't do anything on your own. Even if you're the smartest person in the world, you need people. First of all, you have to understand that we're all limited in the sense that our abilities, our strengths, our talents, our personalities are limited, right? Like, I can't be everything.
Exactly.
And so it's important while building networks and even just connecting with people to be able to see, different things that people have that can kind of complement yours. So obviously at work, I'm sure that if you're on a team of people, the people that you can go and ask for certain
Yeah,
things. If
yeah,
not,
yeah.
you will not achieve your goals,
Yeah,
right?
true.
So like, for instance, at my place of work, I mean, there's about 20 of us that are full-time staff. Everybody has what they bring to the table. I know who to ask for what. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I know where my limitations are and who to ask. So I think part of you being intentional is being honest with yourself about how you are wired.
Okay.
And not trying to be everything to everybody. Because I find that many people think that while you're building a career, that you should, just be everything, and you can't. So it's really being able to figure out how exactly it is that you want to manage your career success and your personal success in such a way that you're able to leverage other people as well.
Okay, I like you said something about knowing your limitations.
Yes.
So, I feel like there's a lot of talk about self-awareness now, and just like how you should know. So I want to see like a practical example. So for example, I'll give you an example about me. I'm not a morning person. Like I legitimately, and I say
stand
this,
the mornings.
and I say this like with, I've tried everything. I've
Yeah.
gone to bed at 9. I drink chamomile tea. Look, I'm just not a morning person. My hours of effectiveness are literally from 11 p.m. to
I like
4
that you
a.m.
know your hours of effectiveness. That's very important.
So, I know when, like, if I have to do something that's key, I would probably just sleep all day. And then when I get up at 9, 10, and I hit, like, the work I will do is so much.
get it done.
But here's the thing. If you work in a space that's 9 to 5, it's counterintuitive to
Yeah.
my body clock or, like, my peak hours. Now, how then am I going to work with? So what I'm trying to ask you, in essence, is really that people who already know what their limitations are, how can they then leverage? Because you've said, know your limitations, but what are the steps? Like, how am I then going to leverage these networks or these relationships to actually ensure career success? I can't go to my boss and tell him I don't want to come to work.
Yeah, of course.
So what do I do?
So, I think that part of being true to yourself is even also being able to express yourself, right?
Okay.
So to the point that you just made about your peak hours. First of all, I think it's important to know what your peak hours are. And your peak hours are really the time that you are most effective in the day.
Most productive hours.
As in your most productive hours in the day, the time that you really achieve quite a lot of things. And it's great that you know that. Hopefully you have an idea of that as well. I think that for somebody like you, it's about having a conversation with your boss that, you know what, my peak hours are, I don't know, what time did you say? 10?
Yeah, 10 to 3.
10 p.m.
to 3 a.m.
to 3 a.m. Right. Now, if you work in an environment that is a bit flexible and you can have that discussion with your boss, then you should. Now, if you know that you don't work in an environment that is that flexible, what you can do is that when you're at work, you gather the things that you need to do in your peak hours. So you need to now manage yourself in such a way that you get those things done in a way that it doesn't affect everyone else, right? Because remember also that while we know ourselves and we're managing ourselves, sometimes we are in environments that don't fit our mold. You know what I mean? So it's really about you then deciding, okay, do you know what? I have five things to do and I'm going to do these 3 things between 10 to 3, but I don't necessarily need to tell everybody that. I'm just going to make sure that I get it done in such a way that you are so productive that nobody is even questioning you. I think that the challenge most of us face is being able to be productive in a way that is presentable within the frame of reference that you're in, whether it's at work, with your family, or whatever. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, that does make sense. But
Another angle to all of this, I got that from your first response, is the fact that when you're building your network, many times, especially as people, professionals, you start out from your immediate circle where you work.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Now, there are people who, for instance, like you said, your body clock and all is like,
I mean,
and it's like off the regular
Everybody
corporate
else's.
times. Now, she made mention of something where, everybody has someone they can trust to deliver on something. And then, so for people who are really that way, I see a situation where if they're not so intentional, they would really struggle.
Yeah.
Because people won't get to
Absolutely.
know their strengths.
Exactly.
Because when people are churning out stuff, you are maybe just cruising through the day.
In
because-
fact, do you know what? Let me give you a great example. Another
Go ahead,
one.
please.
So there's a lot of construction going on the mainland at the moment, and I'm not sure if any of you have been around Berga recently. The traffic is horrendous. Some of my team members that live in that area said to me, "Listen, it takes us entirely too many hours to get to work. Like, it actually doesn't make any sense. It's actually counterproductive. Can we please, for the time of this construction, work from home?" I'll tell you the beauty of this is that these people are working from home like they're working from the office.
no, you
The
will.
value you bring. No, but not everybody does that. So people want us to make concessions for them without bringing value. I don't understand.
Yeah, but here's the thing, you build trust with your
Thank
team.
you.
They,
Yes.
they could come to you because they've delivered on like past things.
And even as they are working from home, they are also
deliver.
delivering value. They are bringing,
Exactly.
do you understand? So that is what helps you. So I feel like for any situation that you're in that you cannot fit in necessarily, deliver value the best way that you can.
Okay.
That way you are somebody that people can trust and people know that, you know what, it actually doesn't matter where
Where
the
you
person
are.
is working from, where they are. They're going to deliver value.
You actually started answering the next
The
question.
next
I know, I was
question.
gonna say, I was
Yeah,
gonna-
right.
yes,
'Cause I was
but-
going to ask you, so because there are people who are introverts now,
Yes.
who'll be wondering how then
How
do
do
I go
I-
about building my professional network and all of
You
that.
want us to get into this introvert extrovert discussion? I love. Oh my god, it's like one of my
Your eyes
favorites.
have lit up. You're
You
like,
don't
yes,
understand.
I
this
saw
is
that.
my
Do
job.
Do you know why?
I saw that.
So no, because I really honestly believe that first of all, there's a misconception. There's no perfect personality type.
Okay.
The way that we're all created is how we're supposed to be successful in the world. It's about you understanding yourself and knowing how to manage yourself. Can you say I'm getting?
Yeah, I can see. I can see.
You're
I
everywhere.
can see hit, and I love it.
You have to know how to manage yourself. So I'm a full-fledged extrovert. I tell you, I get into a room with 1,000 people. I'm like, yes, the bigger the better. Very, very different from some of my friends that are introverts and they're like, why are there all these people
Who
in
are
the
these
room?
people?
Why? And they go to a familiar face. Me, I can just greet everybody in the room, right? I think that if you want to build your networks as an introvert, first of all, I think introverts even build better networks, and I'll tell you why. Introverts can be very intentional in the sense that because they don't necessarily like
All these people.
all these
Necessary
people, all
chatter,
these
yeah.
when they're going on a mission, you see.
Yeah.
Fair.
You see, extroverts like me, we don't need to have a mission.
Anyway, but let's face it. I just moving.
Human beings,
Yeah, that's
hey, the
it.
more the merrier, right? So I've noticed that my introverted friends and people within my network, they are very strategic. And not in a bad way, in the sense that they know that they're going for this conference or they're going for this session and they want to meet maybe 5 people. So they are very intentional in how they do it. Now, the thing about introverts as well is I would say that if you don't like big gatherings, as in you really does not do anything for you, then just find smaller gatherings. We're very blessed in the sense that we now have so many different types of events. There's online events, there's physical, there's big, there's small, there's mid-size, there's everything, right? So find the one that suits you. If you must go to a large event as an introvert to network, try and take a friend. You know what I mean? Like, go with a friend. Go with somebody that'll make you feel comfortable. So that when you get there, at least you have that comfort.
So
and then you
familiar
can
face around.
settle in and all of that. Or if you need a friend that you can meet there, you know what I mean? I think that for extroverts, building networks appears to be easier, but it isn't always. Because what happens is that because you are so extroverted sometimes, you just get lost in the excitement of getting energy from gisting with people. And you forget your mission. You know what I mean? So I think it's really, once again, we're going to go back to this word that we've used a few times unintentionally, which is intentional. You just have to be intentional, right? About what it is that you're trying to achieve. I think also that with building networks, it needs to be authentic, right? So
I was just going to get into like, how then do you discern what authenticity looks like?
I think it depends on you.
Okay.
I don't want to have a mold for authenticity because everybody's different. I want everybody's desires is different.
Okay.
The stages that we're in life is different. The seasons we're in life is different. Because there's also life seasons that kind of just vary. And those life seasons also affect how you want to relate at the time. Like, for instance, if you are a new mom, you might want to build a network of new moms. If you're a new dad, you might want to build a network of new dads, of new parents, as opposed to maybe professionals, because maybe you already have those. So it really depends on you. I see authentic in that let it be something that you feel comfortable doing.
Okay.
Don't let it be that it is so uncomfortable that it's almost like you're acting.
Yeah, forcing you.
Because it actually shows. I feel like people pick up on that, and then it's not authentic, and then it's like,
why you?
People even use word like, why is this person being thirsty? Like, why you?
Why are you desperate? Relax.
Join us
like
now.
just calm down. Like
be calming down. So I feel like there is something for everybody, but it starts with knowing yourself.
Okay.
I think it all starts with knowing yourself and being true to yourself, and then being intentional about what you want to achieve. I think that the other thing with building networks is really why. What is your why?
Okay.
I feel like that why question actually cuts across many areas of life. I think that with every single thing you're doing, you really need to ask yourself why you're doing it.
Okay.
And if you cannot come up with a good why, then why are you doing it? Don't do it. You know what I mean? Why are you going to this event? Why are you recording this podcast, right? Like, what is the essence of it all? You know what I mean? So all those things for me are very important, even while you're trying to build a network.
She said about being strategic, and I like that because it's like loads of memes about I'm being authentic, I'm being my true self, and everyone else being strategic with me, and I find that so interesting because I find now there's a ton of and I don't say this to like offend Ben or because there's been like an upsweep in women empowerment now.
Yes.
In the last few years, I think COVID really ramped it up as well, which
where's
is
my
great. Which is great because, but then you find that there's a ton of these events. It's like literally it's online. As you said, mid-size, large size.
Yeah.
Everywhere you turn, there's a ton of them, and there are people like might then feel like so pressured to go out and then make connections or you want to know this person or all of those things. When you say like you're going to be strategic about them, what's the question I'm trying to ask now is what sort of, I don't want to use the word value, but what sort of strategy would somebody who's trying to grow a network apply towards gathering the most of the opportunity? Like this wave, like if someone says, I'm then trying to grasp or pull as much as I can, and I know my why. Maybe I want to become CEO in 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, great.
And I have example.
That's a clear why.
Example.
Okay.
Someone that wants to become CEO in like maybe 5 or 10 years
or something.
Yes, and you say, okay, so I'm going to these 20 events because these are all these women. So when you say you want to be strategic, what sort of things would they have to do?
I like that there was a clear why. I mean, it's not your why, but as an example.
Just generally,
and I can even use myself as an example. Okay. So about 3 years ago, I changed sector. I had built my entire career in the private sector. And 3 years ago, I moved over into the development sector, which I had never worked in full-time before. So I'd volunteered here and there, but I'd never been a full-time development sector staff. I had to be very intentional about developing networks within the sector. Do you understand? Because, I mean, at that point already, I'd been working for maybe like 18 years, right? So I'm not a
entry level.
I'm not entry level. I'm not new to the game. And a lot of my, really, really core career people were in the private sector as well. Yeah. So what happened was when I decided that I was crossing over, I was very intentional about, okay, who are the people within this sector that can help me, handhold me, tell me who I need to talk to, tell me where I need to go, tell me the kind of things that I need to know about this sector. Because I actually had to learn the sector from scratch. I didn't know anything about it. How do you fundraise? How do you write proposal? So many things. that was a clear why in why I then had to now start meeting certain people.
Okay.
And I met some really amazing people because it wasn't a matter of me speaking to somebody I knew within the sector who said, okay, talk
me
to
talk-
A, B,
okay.
A, B, C, and D. So when I was going to talk to those people, it was a very clear, hello, my name is
XYZ
Folusho.
has said-
I'm new to the game.
Okay.
You guys are the veterans, help me out. Like, what do I need to know? So, it was clear. So it was authentic to me because I was in a new role and I needed that. I wasn't just trying to meet these people for no reason. Because also, you have to also understand that time is money, okay?
Sure. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
People are not just going to be giving you their time for no reason. Also, when you meet with people, outside of networking, if you're not being like more intentional about meeting with certain people, know why you're meeting with them and get to your point.
Okay.
Don't be like a bit of a time waster because let's be honest, there's a lot going on in life right now. Life is so busy. Like
For everybody.
listen,
Every single person.
Like, are we not already almost at the end of May?
Exactly.
The
you
first
know
half
that-
of the year is almost over. How
Literally,
did that happen?
June is 6 months out, and honestly,
How? Like,
it's
I'm
really
still,
gone fast.
I feel like I'm dizzy. I'm like, how did that, you know what I mean? Like, how did that happen? So I think it's really about that. The way that you started it was excellent. I want to be CEO in 5 years. I want to get a promotion. I want to change industry. I want to start a business. So you have your reason for going to those events. And if you don't have a reason, then you don't have to go.
Why? You know what? That's actually.
Hello, you can just not go. How's that?
I have another angle to add to this. So, as the man here, I think I can speak.
Please feel free.
Yeah.
Do you attend? Do you
So-
attend these events?
Sorry.
Yeah, don't lie. Don't
I'm
lie.
sure that he networks as
He-
well.
I actually
a
attend quite a
season.
number of.
He works in sales. So
So
his hands are very
very
strong.
Yes, of course.
So, but there are quite a number of guys who, first of all, men do not get a lot of support, right? Men go for a lot of events, and they try to establish, contacts, but many times it doesn't really go anywhere from there.
It's not
That's
authentic.
partly because everybody too is busy. Everybody has their own thing and all of that. So some guys have, especially younger guys, they've just resigned to their fate and say, "Oh, you know what? I'll probably just have mentors through books. I'll buy the books of people I look up to,
and read them.
and just read them, and somehow just navigate my way to getting to where I want to get to." So now my question is, how much of success depends on your network? Because some people would like to, because of how difficult it is to actually establish
yeah.
really key.
I'll just go alone.
So
networks,
you know what? Honestly, so I like that you brought that angle because I definitely agree with you that I think that men. So before these times that we're living in, where women, are kind of coming more to the fore, thank God, men seem to just be the ones that were kind of running everything. But I find that we've been so intentional with women with creating these, these avenues
Yeah,
and these
initiatives,
so
and
many
these
of them,
initiatives and
yeah.
opportunities that women are now getting that. And I feel like you said, like a lot of the younger men are not. I think that there's a few things that we should also appreciate about the times we're living in. We're living in the digital age.
Okay.
The digital age is such a blessing. You know
is.
what I mean? Like,
It is.
you need to leverage LinkedIn. So any young man or woman who really wants to put herself or himself a little bit more out there and connect with people more, LinkedIn is such a fantastic blessing. Do you know how many people I know that have gotten amazing jobs locally, remotely, internationally? Not just jobs, opportunities, trainings, coaching, facilitating, speaking from LinkedIn. I think people are not leveraging it enough in the sense that go to your LinkedIn and update your profile. Then start searching for people within the space that you're trying to elevate to.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can even send them cold messages. So I'm not necessarily a fan of that because half of my messages I don't,
Open there.
well, I didn't say that, but yeah.
My girl is busy. People should have to stop me.
But no.
Don't
Please,
be
stop me. I
sad.
don't mind. But the point I'm making is that I know people that have gotten elevation from just messaging somebody, very nice, polite message.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm this young man. My name is Femi. I'm an intern here. I'm trying to grow. In fact, I've had people email me coldly, like cold emails. Yes, and I've spoken to them. I've called them, and we've had conversations. So I think that once again, don't fixate too much on the fact that all these networking events, all these big men, they will even talk to me. Don't forget it. You have a network, a digital network
Okay.
that you can leverage. And these guys are all over the world and you can connect with them. I also think that if you want to approach a very successful person, please don't waste their time. I'm not being, it's not about
That's
no, but
facts.
it's the reality.
That's
It's the
facts.
reality.
waste
Don't be
their
a time waster. Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You want to approach somebody that, is barely has time to even breathe themselves and
So
deal
just
with
be
their own
clear
life.
with what you want. Don't be saying your clear hair is nice. Your nails are cute. Where did you get here?
Good afternoon. My name is I went to this school. I love you so much. You're so amazing. No need for
Great.
that.
She already knows. Tell her what you need.
Tell them what you need. And you would actually be fascinated. I have also seen people that even if they couldn't help,
They
you're able
know
to connect
someone.
them to somebody else.
Okay, this is really good because I find that a lot of times people come to very successful people with just like, give me, do for me, I need. And there's just the relationship is just like so one-sided. It's just one person giving all the time. So how then, as someone who's trying to build a network, knowing that everybody goes to people all the time, just say, I want, give me, let
Do
me.
you know that this thing that you just asked makes me so happy?
Okay, good.
Because it's
Our
such
guest
an
is happy.
it's such an
Our guest is
Your
happy.
guest is very happy. Very, very HAPPY. This thing that you said is
Okay.
extremely important.
All right.
And I still spoke about this a few days ago to a bunch of people that were talking about mentoring and kind of coaching them towards being mentors. Listen, you have to add value. See, any area of your life where is one-sided is going to die ultimately.
Okay.
You're going to be shocked. So everybody that has either ever mentored me or is mentoring me or guided me is two-sided. If I find a way that I can help you, best believe I will offer myself to help you. I have done things for people that you will not even imagine. I've helped people set up YouTube pages. I've run it for them in the background. No, like nobody has to know, but it's somebody that's really busy. She or he doesn't know how to do it because they are from a
Okay,
different
so time.
generation.
Okay.
You know, I happen to have those skills and that knowledge. I'm helping you out in the background. I help you edit documents. I'll help you figure out social media posts. All of that in the background because you are bringing value to me and you've been so kind to me that I'm very willing to help you with all those things. But I find that, to your point, people didn't think that this thing can be one-sided. How?
But I'll give you an example now. So,
Please.
for example, someone who is so great, maybe like a 25-year-old who's obviously in the digital age, so snazzy with the captions, great with the
Yes.
images and all of that, and they make like really great reels or whatever it is. And then you want to approach someone, it never occurs to them to say, oh, let me handle your social media for you. Or, you know what? I took a great picture of you. I really like it. They never think of things like that because they feel like it's so small in the grand scheme of what
It's
you're
not
asking.
small, Lou.
Yes. It's
In
not,
this time, it's not small.
but they don't know this.
Yes. So now they know because they are
They're
listening
listening to this podcast. Great. So if you're someone who has a skill set and you're not sure if it's going to be valuable, don't be afraid. Reach out.
Yes.
Offer the service.
Offer it.
Oh, I remember reading like a random post. You know how like so probably states come to Lagos to have like little events, and I remember some guy said he offered. Like it was Port Harcourt, like River State, they came to do something at Eco Hotel. So he said, oh, you know what, he's at home, they're on strike, he's going to just do their Facebook Live thing for them. They should not worry, he has a phone, he has a laptop, he'll do everything. So when they finished the event, the chairman said, oh, no, don't worry, we're going to hire you.
Look at that.
Like, don't even go back.
As
Like,
in,
like
what you have
literally,
done
we're going
for us,
to-
we have not
he
seen
said,
it
like,
before.
this is one of our own, this is like from the States. And I feel like a lot of young people don't
Have
know.
so many skills.
They do have so many, but because, as you said, the age is so different and you're coming from like a background or you're walking into a space where everyone has probably gotten certifications or
Exactly,
they've gone to
yeah.
school.
So you think everybody's
Yeah,
like
so
that.
everybody has to
Exactly.
fit that mold.
Another angle I'd like to add is, when we say people should, give value to people they are trying to reach out to, many times people, that word value,
You think it's money.
they don't understand what it is. Again, that's on one hand. On the other hand, there are people who already have these relationships. It might even be maybe from church, where you have
Or even
access to.
family.
Yeah, exactly. Even family. And then they don't know
I don't
that.
like family because they feel they will take it serious. It doesn't feel like this.
So I said that to say, as a salesman, apply some of these things that's even helped to deepen my relationships with some of my clients. And outside of work, they are able to now, help me get one or two things
Needs.
done.
Okay.
Tell me, oh, Ben, my friend's company, or I just left a minister's office and they are looking for someone like this. Oh,
Love it.
you mentioned your wife was a lawyer. Can she do this?
Exactly.
And I'm
Okay.
like, wow.
That's it.
What are
That's
the
it.
things I do for him? Oh, sometimes he's trying to book a flight. He doesn't have the time. Or his PA
And you
is
just
on
help
leave.
him.
I just help him.
You know what?
Little
I really
things
like the
this.
things that you're saying because I feel like, so yesterday, my husband and I were in a conversation about Nigerians as people and just our general behavior. While everybody is not, so I don't like generalizing.
Okay.
But then there is a spirit of entitlement, and we have to call it out.
Yes,
Facts,
definitely.
There's a
facts.
spirit of entitlement that is really disgusting. No, it really, really bothers me because I don't understand. You have not done any work, but you expect to hammer. You have not done anything, but you expect to be successful. I don't understand.
I think culturally we're people of suddenly. We
Yeah,
love
sudden
that.
wealth.
But
We
then-
love that suddenly
But
business.
then the question I
I'm gonna
wonder
be
is that where
honest
did
with
that
you.
come from? I'm trying to go down history line. The problem is that we don't record our history properly.
No,
where
but
did it really start from? Because that's
feel-
not really how we used to be.
No, I feel like a lot of times in the last few years, the moral fiber of society has broken down
Terribly.
such that you have before children need to be raised by a village.
Yes.
In that, if you have a kid Your neighbor can scold your kid.
Absolutely.
Your neighbor can hold your child accountable. If your neighbor says like, and I think this is just like, and I want to just stress that, just because something is immoral doesn't mean it's wrong. So you could see like a younger girl with an significantly older man, and then your neighbor can report her to you, and you're not going to say, leave my child alone. You're going to say, oh my God, this child is going to kill me. And you get into it. And you said that this is not right. But I also feel like the moral fiber has followed just the economic downturn generally, the general macroeconomic like situation. And you find that everyone is leaning to finding alternative sources of income, whether or not they're within the bounds of what is ethical, what
So
is
you know
moral.
what? I even feel like finding alternate sources of income is very. I mean, duh, you should. My issue is entitlement, which is
Yeah.
expecting I'm going to be successful overnight without doing much.
But there's so
Also,
many people who have had
religion
that.
has
though.
also,
No,
contributed
I
to
feel
that
like
in
it's
a
what
way
we
as
see on
well.
social media as well. I feel in the last 5 years, I'm going to tell you, in the last 5 years, I remember like at gym, I meet like older people and be like, younger people are so lazy, they don't want to work, which I don't think is true.
I don't like that either.
Which I don't think is true.
I don't think it's true
But
either.
this is what I realized. Social media has really, I feel like between the rise of tech, like before tech, if you didn't go and work in bank or
No
big
one
four,
knew what you were even doing.
no,
frankly.
before bank or big four, like if you read agricultural science, your last bus stop is Access Bank. Like no vex, you're going to go to Taylor. Like that's just what it is. Because those are the options that are available. So
But
I
now
feel
there's
like
more options.
there's so many more options. And because of the speed at which these things have blown up, younger people and a lot of people just think like it doesn't take time. I'll just take one short course.
Okay.
And I'll get a remote job. Start paying me dollars.
Okay, so let's now help them during this conversation. What do you guys think? Because I think that definitely there are people that get elevated quickly.
Yes.
But if you get elevated quickly and you don't work hard,
You will fall down.
you
It's
will
okay.
fall. So I think that this whole entitlement thing has to just go back to us
As people.
realizing that even with mentorship, with your network, whatever, you can't be entitled. Even with your friendships.
True.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't have a one-way friendship and think that it's going to last forever. You can't just be entitled that, should be you're my friend. Why can't you help me? I don't understand. You know? So I feel like we just need to stop being so entitled in all our relationships and all the different areas of life that we're in, thinking that somebody owes us anything without us doing anything for it.
I think there might be someone out there who's watching us right now and thinking, so are you guys saying it's not possible for me to be successful without
With that-
actually
as in, so
building
someone cannot
networks,
just see me and
without-
help me.
I can't just be on my
Someone
head.
cannot just see me. Someone cannot just help me. That's literally
No.
like, so you cannot help somebody.
No. We didn't say that, though.
But that's how they're going to interpret it.
Why?
Because like you're laughing in the studio. No, that's why it's because literally like I'll come to you and say, oh, I'm looking for a job.
Yes.
And I'll say, so I mean someone comes to me, okay, let me give you a good example. Say, well, I need a job. Okay, have you worked before? You say, no, but I can't work. I say, okay, what have you done? I don't have anything, but trust me, I can work. I say, okay, fine, no
trust
problem.
me.
I'll give you an opportunity.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, then the person comes, the person does work. No, I don't have anybody, but Ben is my friend. He's looking for.
Ben is looking for someone.
Ben, please.
Yeah.
One of my smallies is looking for help me. Ben will say no problem. As far as networking now, you leverage your network. Then and that's it now. And then Ben says, okay, come to my office, bring your CV, and then maybe the person doesn't now do what they're supposed to do, and it becomes a case of Ben will now. In fact, and then I have a relationship. There's going to be strange when
So Ben will now call you and be like, this person that you sent
that's
to
that I
me,
said to
you-
me, as in you said. And I'm
So
like,
next
hey.
time,
So that
you won't
that
be able
bridge,
to-
that bridge
yeah.
has burnt. I cannot go back to say, and tomorrow somebody will come. I say, the one person I know I cannot help because the last time I helped somebody, And then what happens is that person will then tell everyone, if the late person goes, this guy's very wicked. I told her to help me. She has knows many, but every time I see her, she's posting. She knows person, knows that person, she's always going out. And I said, this is one thing do for me. It's not really a sense of entitlement. It's that you haven't added value to that relationship. Like you don't even realize that because you didn't hold up your own end of the bargain, it's fallen apart. So every time people say, oh, there's a sense of entitlement, it's really much the fact that they don't know. That they have like it's an equation that they have to balance on one side, and they don't know they're supposed to do what they're supposed to do. So for example, if I ask someone to hire, if I went to Ben and say hire this person, what you don't realize is that just off of how you're hired, you should work in the hardest.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody else has fought to get to where you are.
So then are we saying that, so if somebody helps you get a job, and I'm many of us at some point in our life,
Yeah.
somebody has helped us with school job, something. Are you saying that it is okay for me not to, so a job has a contract.
Yeah.
It has a
Yeah,
job
sure.
description. So are we saying that it's okay for me not to do my side and expect that I will continue to receive a salary.
That's human
not.
nature. Because as per you know how you got there now. Somebody helped you, so
That's what I'm saying.
it's
That's
bad.
that's
That's
the,
the spirit.
that's the so the point is that we have become a people who think that we can make money or be successful without taking up our own end of the bargain.
yeah.
And guess what? This thing goes into every area: marriage, raising children. If you want us to go there,
Let's not go there. I'm gonna say let's not
no,
go
because
there.
it's all contracts now.
It is contract.
It's all a contract. When you have children, you don't want to raise your children. You think that they will grow up and be okay. I don't understand. With magic, you want to just be praying and you don't do the action. I wish you a good luck.
I don't even go into that.
Jekwe, we'll go too far.
Let's not go.
Let's come back.
Let's come back. Let's
So
come back.
back to, I think we missed the question. So I said there are people who, for instance, have tried networking. Let's even assume many of them are remote workers.
Yes.
Who have to be on their laptops like most of the time, Mondays to
LinkedIn.
Fridays.
LinkedIn for you.
Okay, so she has said
LinkedIn.
So where some of them have not had success in reaching out to people
On LinkedIn. They
and
should
all
redo
that,
their profile.
and then they're now like, okay, me, I've tried my own.
Solo
I've
for
tried
life.
my. She person can someone not be successful without?
No, so let's not misunderstand what a network is.
Okay.
Maybe the definition of a network is what we might need to clarify.
Okay.
Ever since you were born, you've been creating networks.
True.
Your family members are your networks. Everybody that you went to school with, from whether you went to nursery or you not go to nursery and you were doing this in your sitting room, your church people, everybody that you've ever met in your life, somehow or the other, there's nobody in this world that has ever gotten anything that at some point wasn't connected to something within their network. Even that school that you heard about to apply to, how did you hear about
It's a
it?
network.
True.
True.
You get my point? Even that, how? It must have been somebody or something that opened your eyes or exposed you to it, right? So a network is not this thing that is, oh my God, what? It's actually just who we are as human beings.
Okay.
Ever since we were born, we've been networks, even if it's your family members. Do you understand? So I think that you don't overthink it to the point that you now make it into more than what it should be.
Okay.
Do you understand? If you're a remote worker and you're trying to build networks and you're having an issue, first of all, I think remote workers leverage technology more than
Everybody else.
a lot of
Yeah,
us
yeah.
because they are constantly online.
Online.
Even those people that you are working remotely for, they are your network. When you are either meant to renew your contract or get a promotion, who is going to recommend you? It's the people that you are working with. That's already people that are within your network. Don't think that because there are no big names within your network that you don't have a network. Do you understand? A big name does not necessarily mean anything.
You know, I like that. That's very
That's-
key.
It doesn't mean
That's
anything.
facts.
A big name might not help you.
Yeah.
It might be your teacher from school. It can be your client. It can be anybody. Somebody from church. Somebody from your mosque. Do you understand what I'm saying? Somebody that you met at lunch. They might just say, oh, I met this person and the person happens to be da da da. You know, so I think that back to how we are
How we are
Nigerians.
wired.
I mean,
Biggest
this,
man.
Nigerians.
This
We just like big.
Do you like
Everything
everything's
big.
to be honest,
You know what I mean?
to be honest, simplifying it to this level
It's good, it's
was
key.
really good.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of something. When I was in secondary school, I got into trouble with the owner of the school. Like big trouble. So they already
What did
typing
you
my
do?
Yeah,
they already typed my
What did you
expulsion
do?
letter.
Let's not go. Let's
I
not
can't
go.
even say that here.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
So, I mean, parents, and it was just like, I think it was second day after resumption. So many parents were coming in paying school fees for their kids. And they were,
those-
you
what's
guys have
going on?"
flogged this boy. Either forgive him or send him
what's
or
your
something.
plans?
Do you understand? What's your plan? If you know that son kneeling down.
Yeah.
So many parents had begged and everything. Proprietress didn't listen. Said, no, this boy has to leave her school. This boy. And then she was getting ready to go to the airport, and her driver opened the door. She got in. Driver now opened the door again, knelt down and said, madam, I used to drive this guy. He used to be the driver of the school bus before he started driving her. And then he said, oh, this guy's from a very good family. I'm sure this is just one of those.
It's one of.
Can you
those,
hear?
One of.
you know? And he was just her driver.
The
And
bus
she
driver
eventually
is your
listened to the guy, called the principal and said,
Just leave.
let's just give him some punishment. Let's not expel him.
And
After
parents
all-
have been begging.
You
And
know?
parents have been begging. People that
I
are giving
love
her
that
money have been
example.
begging.
I mean, that
It came to
memory
your
just came to mind when you
That bus
mentioned
driver
that.
was within
Exactly,
your network.
yeah.
Do you understand? And that's also why we need to just be well behaved. Let's actually call it what
In
it
fact,
is.
that will
say
now
what
lead
it
to the
is.
next. What are pitfalls? What are things people should look out for
Challenges, yeah.
when building networks? So they don't build solid networks and then now ruin everything.
So I think that I will segue from this your example
Okay.
about the bus driver that went to plead for you. Well, bus driver that now became the driver that went to plead
Yeah.
for you. First of all, that shows you that you are constantly building, whether you are aware or not,
Yeah.
you are constantly building networks. You are constantly making an impression on people, and if you think you are not, that's your business. But you actually are.
True.
Be a well-behaved person. Be kind. Greet people. give them a smile. Even if, you are not in the mood, don't be just a badly behaved person. Because what I've actually noticed about networks is that we don't actually realize how far our networks go.
True.
Okay.
True.
You don't know who is going to speak. You don't know who I know that knows you.
True.
You don't know who I know that knows you. I don't know who you know that knows me, and vice versa. So if I came here today with stank behavior, just
Squeezy your face.
and you two, you're just like, you know what I mean? No, you don't.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And you don't know who's going to speak for you in places that you are not.
True.
And that's all part of this network thing. How is it that driver
It's the one
happened to have been driving the bus
Yeah,
happened to just say, this boy, maybe what he did is very bad.
Yeah.
It's not okay, but
That's
I
not
actually
his-
know that this is not how they brought him
Yeah.
up. And that's what got you there. And I think that's actually a great example for all of us to just think about deeply.
I mean, because at that time in secondary school, I was not thinking
What's
about
your
it like
own
I was
about
building a
that's
network.
us.
No.
Yeah, like what's your own?
Of
You're
course
just,
not. And you were.
I know the funny thing.
you
Maybe
were.
it will just be that when you are going home, you greet him. Your mother will come out
Yeah,
and greet him. So thank you
yeah.
for bringing my son home. That's literally.
And in fact, sometimes
because,
Mondays I used to, if there's cake in the house, I'll bring
just
something
cut
for
and give
him,
him.
that kind of
So
thing.
say, okay, give driver.
I think this is a
Just
very good
being
example.
just being a
Yeah.
kind person, a well-behaved person.
True.
It doesn't take anything from you. It actually doesn't take anything.
This, I mean, I really like conversation.
I
It's been so
really enjoyed this.
insightful. Usually, before we wrap up and go, we'd like to ask our guests. We ask them one question that we feel like our listeners at home would probably take the most away from. So I think we should. What should we ask her?
Okay, before we ask her that, let me
Oh God.
let me just say
Oh, God.
the things I've learned
Ben,
from her
no.
first
Oh,
of
yeah.
all.
Ben, okay.
Oh, yeah,
Let me
say,
just
oh,
say-
yeah, say what
recap.
you
So I
mean.
mean, she did an amazing job.
I did like.
mean,
I
you
definitely enjoyed
really
the episode.
did
She-
justice
she
to
went
this
into
topic.
it.
Thank you.
I learned first of all self-awareness. You need to know
You need to know
yourself.
yourself.
Absolutely.
You need to know you need to know your why. Where are you heading
What
to?
are you trying to?
Yeah, what are you
achieve?
trying to achieve basically? Thirdly, you need to be very strategic and intentional about establishing these connections, and milking them basically. You mentioned how you were moving into a new industry. You
yeah.
sought to find out the people who could help you,
Absolutely.
hold you by the hand to show you the ropes, people who could train you, people who might eventually become peers, all of this.
Yes.
So I mean, you did justice to this, and we're so happy.
She also
And
spoke about.
let me
value.
also say that since I've now been in the sector, whenever anybody new is coming and they come to me, I always help them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do you understand?
'Cause
And
that was you a couple of years ago.
yes, and even beyond that, I just think that if you are able to help people,
You should.
just why not? You get what I mean? It doesn't take anything out of you. And I think that goes back to this whole network thing is that a stranger can ask you to help them with something. If it doesn't take anything out of you, then just help them.
And another part about building network is also being willing to help other people grow.
Grow.
Because the more people who level up through you, I mean, the stronger your network
network.
is as well.
Absolutely.
And it might just be as little as, oh, my company is hiring. This guy who went to my university needs an engineering
Thank
job.
you.
Okay.
Oh, bro,
Let me-
we're
let me-
hiring. Why don't you send your CV?
Exactly. Or you are on an alumni group for your
Exactly,
school.
yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
needs to
I'm-
meet
I'm
somebody.
gonna- I'm gonna join
You
all
know
of them now.
somebody that can do it, and you just link them up.
I feel like I need to join those groups now because I'm just like every time they say I send them WhatsApp, I'm like I beg.
WhatsApp can be a lot.
I'm
let's
just
be
like I
honest.
beg.
WhatsApp can be so
I'm so
overwhelming.
confused. So every time
All
my
of
uni
them.
group comes, like I beg. But now after this episode, I'm gonna join all of them now.
Oh, this is really eye-opening, though.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
eye-opening.
I think what we're gonna ask you for our guests at home is if. Let me see. You answer most of it. Too. I think most of. I think we've
Well,
gone.
we
we've
almost
really-
gossip.
yeah,
She has done justice.
We've gone
almost
far.
digressed.
I feel like I think what I'm going to ask you, just like basically, if someone is looking to build a peer network now, not like a mentorship.
peer.
Yeah.
Yes. What are the steps that they can take? I think it's something we didn't talk about, but I think it's important because, as you said, not everything has to be big. It's not every time you meet a big person. How are the best? What is the best? If you can give us 3 things, the best ways to foster like a peer mentorship network or a peer to peer, like people on your level. How can you go about it?
So I think that's probably one of the easiest
Okay, good.
to build, because first of all, you already have them, right? Your peers. So if it's at work, they are in your departments.
Okay.
You get what I mean? Like, there are probably already people that are within your office environment. The question is, how are you coming across? Like, are you a nice person?
Same.
Even like, do you go out of your way for other people?
Like you're not greeting them.
Back to my entitlement. Yeah, no, but let's be honest. There's something that look at this as like an invisible bank where you can't actually see the
See,
money,
but
but you're
you're
making
making
deposits
deposits.
every day.
Yeah, true,
Okay.
When you want to withdraw, somebody that every morning you greet them good morning. When you ask them for a favor, are they going to say no?
They won't say no. Yeah, always smiling. Say I brought a parfait. You're not like so nice to them. They will have no choice. Okay.
It will be hard.
So how about inter-organizational?
I was gonna say industry-wide.
peer-to-peer?
So that's the next one
level.
now. When you now want to start networking with people that are your peers in other organizations, also within like your sector, that's where I think LinkedIn is so valuable.
Okay.
Guess what? The good thing about LinkedIn shows you, so that person that you want to meet, it will show you the people that are already within your own network
That
know
know
them.
the
Yeah.
person.
Do you know how many people have asked, can you please do an intro to this person? I see that you know them
okay.
on LinkedIn. Or have even said to me, Folusho, I see that you know this person. Can you please introduce me to them?
Oh, I know. I think I take my LinkedIn a bit more seriously.
And I think people are really
need
receptive
don't
to.
even play with
I
that.
need to
Don't
go
play-
and
It's very,
start
very powerful.
to
You are,
ramp it up.
you are living in digital age. Don't play with
I
it.
really am. I feel like, this is really good because a lot of things I just feel like, I beg, who's even there? Who's that? Like, honestly, I
It's
swear
very
to God, like,
powerful.
again, the alumni groups, I'm like, now, LinkedIn.
Even alumni groups for peer-to-peer. Because most times, if it's like your year group, those are already your peers.
Okay.
Do you understand? And some of them will be within your industry.
And
So
I
it's
have to
about
ag-
being
I
intentional
have to
about.
agree with you. On LinkedIn, I found that your peers in other industries,
They are-
in
they will come up.
they are
all-
very
they'll-
easily.
Okay.
They don't waste time. They look
okay.
at you because you might never know. They might be eyeing your organization as well.
Okay.
That's
They're
it.
thinking, oh, this might just be one leg into that organization.
Okay, I
you know?
really, I feel like I should
Absolutely.
let me go and
And
refresh my LinkedIn photo.
Your photo,
Okay,
your profile,
my
jazz it
profile,
up.
go and give them
Yes,
there.
yes, yes.
I think that's what I'll go and do. All right, it was so great having you.
Thank
we
you
had
so much for
such
the
a
show.
So much
wonderful
fun.
You did justice to
conversation.
this conversation.
Thank
Finished.
you.
I feel
I
like
think
our
you're
listeners
the
are
very best.
really.
Amen.
They're gonna get so much
Awesome,
out of
I'm
this,
glad.
and
Thank
that's
you.
and that's the why. Like that's
That's the
why.
why.
So to our listeners at
value to
home,
people.
to our listeners at home, to our listeners at home, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. We in studio, we had like a great time, and we're hoping that you've taken a lot of things from this. As you mentioned, I think Ben has done a really great recap. You need to know your why. You need to know yourself. You need to know what you're trying to achieve by building this network. You need to be intentional about, getting what you need out of it. And you also need to consider the value that you're bringing to whoever it is that you're reaching out to, just like foster a network. I really hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.